As empaths, one of the things that we often find ourselves battling with is people pleasing. Now, what exactly is people pleasing? People pleasing is essentially the tendency to prioritize the needs of other people over your own. This is a coping mechanism and a trauma response that empaths often fall victim to. Okay, now you could be sacrificing your time, you could be sacrificing your finances, you could be sacrificing your energy, you could be sacrificing your peace of mind, you could be sacrificing many other things to make another individual happy over your own. Okay, this often leads to low self-confidence for the person doing the pleasing, and also burnout, because you will dedicate all your resources and time to pleasing another individual and essentially ignore yourself or leave very little for your own issues or for your own self. Okay, in this video, guys, I'll be sharing with you 4 questions that you can ask yourself whenever you find yourself in a people-pleasing type situation. But first, let me take a moment to say hello and welcome to everyone. If you're new here, I go by the name Inspired Seeker, and on this channel we talk about spirituality, we talk about personal development, and we talk about narcissism. So if any of that appeals to you, or if you feel called to, then by all means join us, and I promise you will not regret that decision. So now let's get into these 4 questions that you could ask yourself every time you find yourself in a people-pleasing situation, to help you make better decisions, to help you not fall victim to people pleasing. Okay, and I'd like to start by saying that as empaths, guys, we have the heart of gold, right? We have the biggest hearts, and oftentimes we find it difficult to say no to others. Okay, a while back I did a video, I think it was How We Give Our Power Away, that was the title, and I said people pleasing was one of the ways. And in that video I said, as long as they are givers, there will always be takers in this world. Okay, guys, there are toxic individuals who have made taking for others their preferred way of living. Okay, so as an empath, as the natural givers that we are, we often find it difficult to say no to others, and this often leads us into people-pleasing situations and people-pleasing tendencies. Okay, a typical example is overworking yourself at the job to gain your boss's approval. This is something that we often fall into. We have to understand that we always have to be the first player on our team. Okay, no matter what, empaths, you have to be the first player on your team, and so you have to always prioritize yourself before you can step out to help anybody else. Okay, so as I said, guys, takers, they have no bounds. Okay, they have no boundaries, and they will take and take and take and take and take, as long as you are willing to give and give and give. And what makes it bad is that they don't care where the resources that you're giving is coming from. Okay, takers don't care where those resources is coming from, whether it's your time, whether it's your peace of mind, whether it's your energy, whether it's your resources, whatever it may be. Takers don't care where you're getting it from. As long as you are giving it to them, that's all that matters to them. As long as they are getting their needs met, that's all that matters to them. Okay, so be very mindful of this, empaths. All right, because if you're not careful, guys, you could fall into this trap, and it could be very detrimental to your well-being. It could be very detrimental to your energy, very detrimental to your peace of mind. Okay, now let's go over some of the things that happen when you people please. Okay, I have 4 things here. Okay, number 1 is self-sacrificing. Okay, you are sacrificing yourself for the benefit of another. All right, now I know this may be difficult for you to wrap your head around, but as empaths, as I said, you have to become the number 1 player on your team. Okay, oftentimes we find ourselves sacrificing our well-being for other people. Okay, as empaths, we are the type of people that will give the clothes off our backs if we realize that someone needs it. But here now, we have to understand, okay, not everybody that appear to need help is ready to be helped. Some people are simply takers, and they know no boundaries. They will continue to take and take and take. Even when they see that you're hurting, or when they see that you're down, they will continue to take and take from you. Okay, so takers have no boundaries, and until you as an empath begin to set boundaries, they will continue to take and take and take from you. Okay, so be mindful of that. All right, self-sacrificing. You may always or often find yourself sacrificing yourself for someone else, sacrificing your time, sacrificing your energy, your resources, your finances, whatever it may be. You may find yourself constantly sacrificing yourself for someone else. All right, if this is you, then bear in mind, guys, you are essentially in a people pleasing situation, and this could prove detrimental to you at some point. Okay, the second one is self-neglect. Okay, self-neglect is essentially neglecting the self. All right, now as I said, you have to become the priority. You have to become the first player on your team. Okay, when you neglect yourself and prioritize someone else, guys, you essentially leave yourself last. And most of the time, you don't get the same attention that you should be giving yourself. You neglect yourself essentially, and this could be very detrimental to your mental health. So always make sure that you're prioritizing yourself. And I know it's difficult to say no sometimes, but guys, this is something that we have to learn to do. So we don't neglect ourselves. We have to learn to prioritize ourselves so we could be the first player on our team. All right. Now, the next thing is rejection. Why rejection, guys? Is fear of rejection. A lot of folks people please because they fear that if they don't do what it is that they're doing for the taker, then they're going to be rejected. That taker is going to be upset. That taker is going to not like them as much. That taker is going to reject them. Guys, no matter what it is, and this is often the case, actually. Okay, this is often the case because once you stop providing the supply for these toxic narcissistic individuals, they become upset with you. Okay, so fear of rejection, this is what drives some folks to fall into people pleasing situations, because they fear that if they don't do this, then maybe that person either is their boss at work or their parents, or it could be in any type of situation. Maybe their significant other is not going to like them unless they do this for them. Okay, so they constantly prioritizing pleasing that individual to stop from being rejected, okay, or to stop from feeling like they're being rejected or neglected, okay, because this, as I said, is a trauma response, okay, and as we know, many of us have undergone a lot of trauma, so this could be a response to a trauma that we experienced in the past, and we don't want to be rejected, or we don't want to feel like we are being abandoned, and so we will give too much of ourselves to get others to like us, or to get others to keep us around, or whatever the situation may be. All right, and the last one is boundaries. I shared this earlier, guys. When we people please, we tend to lack boundaries, okay, because now the taker individual is essentially gonna come to us whenever they want whatever supply that we providing them. Wherever they need that supply, they're gonna look to us every single time, because we have failed to put up a boundary, we have failed to prioritize ourselves, we have failed to make ourselves the number one player on our team. And so now we lack boundaries, and every time this individual needs something, they will look to us, and they will run us to the ground, guys. Even when they realize that you're hurting or you're in pain, they will not care. They will always demand that you provide whatever it is that you've been providing for them. Okay. But one way to stop people pleasing, guys, is to learn to set boundaries. All right, because when we people please, guys, we essentially lack boundaries. All right. Now, let's get into the 4 questions that you could ask yourself whenever you are in a people pleasing situation, and this will help you essentially end this people pleasing tendency that some of us may still have. All right, so the number 1 question I have is, how do I feel at this particular moment? Okay, how do I feel at this particular moment? Say someone asks you to help them with something, or someone asks you to do something for them. Okay, that's the first thing you have to ask yourself. How do I feel at this particular moment in time? How do I feel? Do I feel normal? Do I feel angry? Do I feel peaceful? How do you feel? Are you in the right state of mind mentally? And that's the first question you could ask yourself. Okay, how do I feel? Am I off balance? Am I balanced? Am I happy? Am I sad? Am I angry? Am I frustrated? How do I feel at this particular moment in time? Okay. The second question is, who am I doing this for? Okay. Who am I doing this for? Am I doing this, taking this particular action for this individual? Am I doing it for myself? Am I doing it for them to like me more? Am I doing it for them to gain their approval? Am I doing it to gain brownie points? Am I doing it out of the kindness of my heart? Am I doing it for me, or am I doing it for someone else because we fear that they may reject us if we don't give them what it is that they want? Okay, so that's the second question. Who or what am I doing this for? Okay. Number 3 is, what do I gain from doing this? What do I gain from doing this? Okay, and this is where the bulk of the work is. Okay, are you doing this because you fear that if you fail them, or if you don't do it for them, they may be upset with you, or they may reject you. They may stop being your friend, or suddenly your boss may stop liking you. Or are you doing it for their approval? What are you gaining from doing this? Are you doing it out of the kindness of your heart because your heart tells you to do it? Huh? Are you doing it that way, or are you doing it to gain brownie points, so to speak? Huh? Are you doing it just so they can like you more? Are you doing it to gain their approval? So that's number 3, guys. What do I gain from doing this? Okay. And if you find that you are doing that particular action to gain their approval, or you are doing that particular action to gain their friendship, or you are doing that particular action so they like you more, so they don't reject you, then chances are you are people pleasing. Okay. And the 4th and final question is this in alignment with my highest good? Okay. Is this action in alignment with my highest good? And for this one, you have to tune into your heart, okay, and really feel into it. Is this action in alignment with my highest good? Okay. If the answer to that question is no, then chances are you are people pleasing, and you should probably not do what it is that you are getting ready to do. Okay. So that's the 4 questions that you could ask yourself whenever you find yourself in a people pleasing situation. Okay. Number 1, how do I feel at this particular moment? Okay. Number 2, who or what am I doing this for? Okay. If you're doing it to satisfy someone else, then chances are you probably shouldn't, right? Number 3, what do I gain from doing this? Are you doing it to gain brownie points? Are you doing it to gain approval? Are you doing it to gain friendship or whatever? And number 4 is this in alignment with my highest good? Okay, if it requires you to sacrifice your peace of mind, if it requires you to sacrifice your well-being, if it requires you to sacrifice your resources, if it requires you to sacrifice your time that you could have used on yourself, then chances are you are people pleasing. Okay. I hope I made it clear enough, chosen ones, empaths. I'll leave you with this, guys. Guard your peace, guard your energy, and please help yourself and people pleasing. Okay. Because the only key to people pleasing is to heal whatever trauma that have put you in this type of situation, whether it's abandonment, whether it's neglect, whether it's rejection, loneliness, whatever it may be, that underlying trauma that's caused you to people please, to get people to like you, to get people to approve of you. Now, please heal that underlying trauma. Okay. Take a moment to share your thoughts and experiences in the comment section. And if you found value in this message, then I ask that you like and share the video, and also stick around because there should be another video or playlist popping up somewhere here. Stick around and get more information on personal development. Other than that, I'll leave this here, guys. Until next time, peace, love, and more life.